Scott here. Here is a quick boss guide for the upcoming World of Illusion Spiritus, Shiva event. This is the 5th Spiritus Summon Boards fight in Global that feature the Spiritus level difficulty. The featured units for the event banner are the returning Edgar, Kimahri, Deuce, Lunafreya, Cid and Wakka. Edgar's FR and Burst will makes their debut along with his rework and FR Echo. Lunafreya is just a returning Burst unit. We will be fighting 2 Xiuhtecuhtli. Both bosses have 200 million HP each. They do not have any major resistances. To achieve the S grade in Spiritus Clear, you need to defeat the stage within 65 turns. The HP requirements is 10,000. Before I continue further, here is a small disclaimer clause for the video. The guide is written based on the time that the event was released for the Japanese version. Please do note that it is possible that the boss fight mechanics might differ when the actual event is released in Global. Before I continue on to the boss mechanics, let us talk a bit about the Spiritus score system. As you fulfill the milestones, you will get a grade. The ultimate reward of the stage is to get a grade S. For any Spiritus fight, you cannot bring any friend support for the fight. Now I proceed to talk about the key thresholds that you need to watch out for the fight. This is one of the game's most restrictive fight. At the start of the fight, the boss will gain stats boost like other SHINRYU or Lunafreya fight. The boss will use Earthen Impact Plus where it will randomly petrify an ally. As there are 2 boss actions, so there will be 2 petrification triggers against 2 random ally targets. American Samoa. The attack will bypass lock mechanics. You cannot bypass with the debuff evasion or even cleanse it. The only way to avoid it is to dodge it. The petrification will end once the petrified target takes a turn. The boss will enter in howl mode at the 89% HP threshold. Reaching this HP threshold mark will get you grade D. Howl mode is an aura that changes its aura color when the boss received ignore defense brave damage against one weapon imperil weakness. It starts off with red, yellow, blue, and white. Likewise, the aura will be upgraded when the boss takes a turn. Regards to the effect of the auras, I will discuss more when I am covering that in detail later. When you reach the 69% HP threshold, the boss will disable the howl mode and achieve the calm down status where you will get a well done. Your reward notification. Upon achieving this, you will get the grade C. The boss inflict itself with 50% HP damage down debuff for 3 turns. At the 59% HP threshold, each boss will use Earthen Impact Plus again to randomly petrify a target. At the 49% HP threshold, the boss will use Howl Plus where you will see the 4-color tier aura mechanic again. This time, the conditions will be more restrictive. To downgrade the aura, you need to deal ignore brave damage against an enemy with all 3 attack type weakness. In other words, the boss needs to be weak against all attack types, melee, ranged and magic. The aura will be upgraded when the boss acts or an ally act where he or she has a buff or special effect that has levels of 5 and above. If you let the boss act while it is emitting the red aura, it will unleash Hopeless Rain, which is a party wipe KO attack. When the boss HP drop to 29%, the boss will deactivate the aura again. And it will use Earthen Impact Plus to petrify a random target. At the 19% HP threshold, the boss will reactivate Howl Plus aura again where you need to deal ignore brave damage against all 3 weapon weakness. The boss will also activate defense increasing aura where it will raise their defenses by 300% and reduces the brave gains by 90%. Do take note that the boss cannot be killed until the aura has reaches white. In other words, if you cannot fulfill the 3 weapon weakness criteria and deal ignore brave damage, you cannot clear the fight. It is due to the restrictive criteria that makes Shiva Spiritus the hardest Spiritus stage that the game has to offer. Clearing the fight at turn 81 and above will get you grade B. Clearing the fight between turn 66 to 80 will get you grade A. Clearing the fight at turn 65 and below will get you grade S. As we are no longer have Lunafreya Plus fights, the boss guide will be focused primarily on SHINRYU fights. In Shinryu, you need to understand the effects gained by the boss as the force gauge build up, its force ability and its force time effect. If your party has low force levels, it is highly certain that the boss force gauge will build up faster than yours. To have a better understanding on the basics of the force gauge mechanics and Shinryu fights, I have done a video explaining the mechanics. I have included the link to the video under the comments and video description for your quick reference. Throughout the fight, the boss force gauge charge rate will increase by 4% for every action that your party take. The bosses also have 80% brave damage resistance against all elements except for non-elemental, ice or water. At the 100% threshold, depending on whether you have inflicted any weapon imperil on the boss, it will use its force ability, Hopeless Rain ++ or Hopeless Rain +++. When you have inflicted a weapon imperil debuff, the boss will use Hopeless Rain ++, which is a guaranteed hit AoE Brave plus HP attack. The attack will ignore any Brave or HP nullification effects. If there is no weapon imperil debuff present, the boss will use Hopeless Rain +++, which is the same as Hopeless Rain ++, except it will randomly petrify a target similar to the Earthen Impact Plus mechanic. Upon using the force ability, the boss will enter into its force time where the gauge will start to emit a red hue with a counter of 20 on its gauge. The boss will gain the following enhancements. The boss will receive 2 million HP heal at the start of its turn. It will reduce your party max brave by 500% and your party recast gauge will not increase. To deal the force weakness which cancel the enemy's force time, you need to use any force ability attack that deals ignore brave damage. Other than the featured FR unit Edgar, other units that have ignore defense utility are Sabin, Cid Reigns, and Beatrix. For Cid Reigns, the ignore defense utility comes from his impact strike plus follow-up, and for Beatrix it comes from her rose petals follow-up attack. Alternatively, if you have lock activated his BT aura, any FR will work to cancel the boss force time. Before I go through the key boss threshold mechanics, the Howl aura mechanics, let us cover the setup requirements and boss basic mechanics first. Like any other Spiritus fight, the boss will activate its aura at the start the fight. As mentioned earlier, at the start of the fight and when the boss HP drop to 59% and 29%, the boss will use Earthen Impact Plus, a single target petrification attack. The petrification ability will bypass debuff evasion and lock mechanics. You cannot cleanse the petrification effect. The only way to remove the petrification is to let the petrified unit's turn lapse. This can be annoying when the petrification triggers during your force time and you will end losing a precious turn and unable to enjoy the benefit of the force time bonus. The petrification attack can miss though. You can prevent the triggers at the 59% and 29% with Redia LDCA, Yuri's BT aura, or pray that it miss the attack. When the boss HP drop to the 69% HP threshold, the boss will temporarily disable Howl aura that it activates at the 89% HP threshold and trigger the calm down state. You will achieve the well done, your reward status where the boss will self-inflict itself a 50% HP damage down debuff for 3 turns. Before I continue to cover further on the rest of the guide, I will need to emphasize the importance of the key utility that you needed in order to tackle the fight. To negate the Howl or Howl Plus auras, you need to deal weapon imperil, or also known as attack type weakness. There are 3 types of attack type weakness: melee, ranged and magic. Currently there are 6 units that can offer these attack type weakness. For magic, you can use Tira or Hope. For melee, you can use Orin. For ranged, you can use either Fran or Irvine. Other than Orin, Hope and Tira, the other units' kits are pretty dated to be used to tackle a Spiritus difficulty level. So, you might want to use them as LDCA instead. Only Hope, Orin, Fran and Irvine offer weapon imperil via their LDCA. So, if you don't have them, you will need to pull and bring Edgar with his LD passive to do this run. Edgar can only set up the weapon imperils when he is in the party. Let me briefly go through how each unit inflict their weapon imperil. Terra only offers Magic Imperil from her FR ability. Hope deals Magic Imperil on his LD. If his EX is at least 2 out 3 limit breaks, you get 4-turn Magic Imperil debuff applied upon using his calls. Fran deals Ranged Imperil when she upgrades her Viera Punishment debuff. She can apply the Weapon Imperil on both calls. Irvine deals Ranged Imperil as well on both calls. His LDCA offers HP damage and 50% hit rate reduction. This can be useful in dodging the boss Earthen Impact plus threshold attacks. Generally, any party team comp without Edgar will usually use either the Weapon Imperil unit in the party or bring them as LDCA. Do note that you need to cover all 3 attack types to win this stage. The second criteria are ignoring defense. The boss has very strong defenses by default. At the 19% HP threshold, they will activate defenses increasing where it will boost their defense by 300%. Do not be shocked if your party start hitting ones when the aura is active. On the screen, I have listed down some units that have Ignore Defense utility. You can check the Dissidia Compendium or the Tonberry Troop website to check which skills give Ignore Defense utility. Every ability of Edgar's kit deal Ignores Defense Brave damage. You can also enable every unit in your party to deal Ignore Defense damage with Lock BT aura. Now let's cover on the boss basic attack rotations. The boss will start off using Scarlet Spiral, which is a single target melee brave attack. It will follow up with Sword Tail, which is an AoE melee brave plus HP attack. Next, it will use Earthen Impact, which is a single magic brave attack and uses the Sword Tail AoE HP attack on its following turn and repeat the cycle. Now let's go through the key fight mechanics. The Howl aura. When its HP drop to 89%, the boss will activate the Howl aura mechanic. Start at the red aura. The Howl aura is 4-tier color aura. From the strongest to the weakness, the boss changes the aura color from red to yellow to blue and lastly white. When the aura is level 4 or red, all boss attacks will deal true HP damage that equates to 40% of its attack. When the aura is level 3 or yellow, the boss will reduce all brave damage from each brave hit received by 5% of the unit's max brave. When the aura is level 2 or blue, the boss is immune to KO and the HP will always be remained at 1. When the aura is level 1 or white, the effects are removed. The higher level auras will result the boss gain the effects of the lower aura as well. In other words, while the boss is emitting the red aura, it will also gain the effect of the yellow and blue aura. The aura levels will increase and decrease when certain conditions are met. The aura will increase whenever the boss takes a turn. The aura will decrease when your party deal brave damage that ignore defense where the boss target is inflicted with one weapon imperil weakness. To inflict weapon imperil on the boss, you need to use one of the 6 characters shown on the screen. Only Orin, Fran, Hope and Irvine LDCA provide weapon imperil. Let me illustrate some examples. Example 1. The boss is emitting red aura. You deal normal brave damage while it is inflicted with melee imperil, the aura will remain red after the attack. Example 2. The boss is emitting red aura, you deal ignore brave damage where there is no weapon imperil inflicted on it. The aura will remain red after the attack. Example 3. The boss is emitting red aura, you deal ignore brave damage while it is inflicted with magic imperil. The aura will downgrade to yellow after the attack. In other words, to downgrade the aura, you need to achieve the following. 1. Do not let the boss take any turns. Because if they act, the aura will increase. 2. You need to deal ignore brave damage to the boss while the boss is inflicted with the weapon imperil debuff. Once the boss HP drop to 69%, the aura will be deactivated when the boss reaches its calmed down state. You will also trigger well done your reward status where the boss will self-inflict itself with a 50% HP damage down debuff for 3 turns. Now let's cover the stronger variant, the Howl Plus aura. The aura will be activated at the 49% HP threshold and gets deactivated at the 29% HP threshold. The auras will get reactivated at the 19% HP threshold. Similar to Howl, the Howl Plus aura is a 4-tier color aura. From the strongest to the weakness, the boss changes the aura color from red to yellow to blue and lastly white. When the aura is level 4 or red, all boss attacks will deal true HP damage that equates to 40% of its attack. When the aura is level 3 or yellow, the boss will reduce all brave damage from each brave hit received by 5% of the unit's max brave. When the aura is level 2 or blue, the boss is immune to KO and the HP will always be remained at 1. When the aura is level 1 or white, the effects are removed. The higher level auras will result the boss gain the effects of the lower aura as well. In other words, while the boss is emitting the red aura, it will also gain the effect of the yellow and blue aura. The aura levels will increase and decrease when certain conditions are met. The aura will increase whenever the boss takes a turn or when a player unit who has a stacked buff of field effect buff that is levels 5 and above takes their turn. The aura will decrease when your party deal brave damage that ignore defense where the boss target is inflicted with 3 weapons imperil weakness. Yes, you are hearing right. You need all 3 types of weapons imperil. To meet the weapon imperil weakness requirements, you need to use a combination of Orin, Fran, or Irvine and Hope LDCA. If you bringing Tira, you just need to bring Fran or Irvine LDCA and Orin LDCA. If you bring Orin, you need bring Irvine LDCA or Fran LDCA and Hope LDCA. If you don't have the combination to meet all 3 weapon imperil types, you will need to pull for Edgar LD and use him in the party to meet the requirements. Only Orin, Fran, Hope and Irvine LDCA provide weapon imperil. If you let the boss act while the aura is at level 4 or red, the boss will follow up with Hopeless Rain, which is an AoE KO attack. So do not let the boss act when they are in red aura. You can make use of turn disable utility like Paralysis or Confusion to stall their turn. If they are under turn disable status, they will not be able to upgrade the auras. When Howl Plus is activated at the 19% HP thresholds, the boss will also activate Defense Increasing, which will raise the boss defense by 300% and reduces all enemy brave gains by 90%. Let me illustrate some examples. Example 1. The boss is emitting red aura, you deal ignore brave damage while it is inflicted with melee imperil, the aura will remain red after the attack. Example 2. The boss is emitting red aura, you deal ignore brave damage where there is magic and ranged imperil inflicted on it. The aura will remain red after the attack. Example 3. The boss is emitting red aura, you deal ignore brave damage while it is inflicted with magic, melee, and ranged imperil. The aura will downgrade to yellow after the attack. In other words, to downgrade the aura, you need to achieve the following. 1. Do not let the boss take any turns. Because if they act, the aura will increase and your applied weapon imperil will wear down. 2. You need to deal ignore brave damage to the boss while the boss is inflicted with all 3 types of weapon imperil debuffs. For this fight, weapon imperil utility is a must. If you do not have the weapon imperil utility that I have mentioned earlier, please pull for Edgar LD and bring him to set up the imperils. If you are unable to pull for Edgar or don't want to pull for his LD, you have to wait for future banners to collect the weapon imperil utility before you can clear this stage. There is a trick that allows you to bring a party without any ignore defense utility and meet the condition by using any Spiritus summon. The boss has brave resistance against all elements except ice or water. So, most player bring either Bahamut of Shiva for the fight. In the illustration shown on the screen, the boss has activated the aura at 19% HP threshold. The party of Aerith, Squall, and Core does not have any ignore brave damage utility. The boss is already inflicted with weapon imperil debuff. Upon summoning, the auras get downgraded from red to yellow. On the first unit that attack in the first summon turn, their brave hits will be imbued with the ignore brave damage mechanic, thus they will be able to downgrade the aura from yellow to blue. Lastly, the user use Orin LDCA to lower the aura to white. Thus, making the boss killable. Before I continue to the next part of the guide where I am be covering Edgar's FR and BT, let's showcase a clip of the transition, so you roughly how the downgrading of the aura works. Let us cover a bit on the feature FR unit Edgar. Edgar do not have any major changes to his kit, but you need to take turns to upgrade the weapon imperil. For example, with Debilitator buff active, using a magic attack will inflict magic imperil. Like his ill-fated brother, all Edgar's attacks ignore defense. So here is a short summary of the skills that you need to use to get the weapon imperil. For magic imperil, you need to use his Bio Blaster, which is his special HP command after using his LD Royal Shock skill or the Royal Shock skill itself. For ranged imperil, you need to use his S1, Auto Crossbow or his BT finisher. For melee imperil, you need to use his S2 Drill or EX Chainsaw. If you are unsure whether the weapon imperil has inflicted, you can long press on the boss and check their weakness status. For more tips on Edgar, I would highly recommend you to check out the Tonberry Troop infographic page. To date, Edgar FR is the only FR that deal all three weapon types, ranged, magic and melee. In fact, using his FR Echo will allows you to gain access to all weapon imperil in one attack. Like his other skills, the attack also offers ignore defense utility. Now let us cover on his FR conditions. 1. Dealing attack type weakness or enemy inflicted with a weapon imperil will give you 40% HP damage bonus. This is easily achieved with Edgar. Ideally, you will want to start off the fight using his LD so you can set up his weapon imperil. 2. Attack a debuffed enemy will get your 5% HP damage bonus per debuff. There are a total of 8 buff slots, so filling them up with 8 debuffs will get 40% per turn. AoE debuffers support units like Sarah or Lily are great partners for Edgar. In my opinion, this is one of the best generic FR conditions. However, the FR phase does not grant any damage bonus aura like raising your party max brave cap or brave damage cap limits. You need to rely on BT aura or support auras to make up for the shortfall. Most of the users will rather use Edgar FR as an FR Echo attack instead. Let us cover on the other weapon gear, his burst weapon. His burst weapon is a ranged brave plus HP attack that deals ignore brave damage and inflict his air anchor debuff for 1 turn. The BT aura will also raise your party brave damage and its cap, HP damage up and max brave cap, which are standard utility that you can find from most BT auras. The air anchor debuff will lowers the boss defense by 20% and reduces the affected target's brave and HP damage deal by 100%. Upon the boss target acts, it will trigger the additional attack. The additional attack will grant a 1-turn 100% HP damage up buff to Edgar. Reset the boss break status, inflict break, and deal a single target brave plus HP damage 6 times while raising Edgar max brave by 200% and brave damage cap by a 400%. This is the strongest trap debuff available in the game, however you need to plant it and allow the boss to take a turn. Timing is important to make full use of the big damage utility. So is Edgar viable without his BT? Like most damage dealers, all units need their full kit to function the way they are. However, Edgar can work as secondary unit by providing his handy weapon imperil utility. If you want to do farm your boards faster or clearing the Shiva Spiritus easier, pulling for Edgar will be a wise choice here. His FR will help in future content as well. We have come to the last slide of the guide. For every Spiritus fight, there are ticket challenge mission. For the Shiva Spiritus event, the 3 challenges are: 1. Ticket Challenge 1. Bring a team that consists of red, yellow, or blue crystal units. 2. Ticket Challenge 2. Bring a team that consists of spear, throw or unique weapon users. 3. Ticket Challenge 3. Bring a team that is from one of the 3 following series: Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy X or Final Fantasy Type 0. On the screen you can see a table showing the list of the units that you can consider for the challenge. Do not worry too much if you are unable to clear it when the event is released. You can still get enough Spiritus keys to claim all treasures in the stage by clearing other missions. So far, all team comps that meet all conditions will feature a minimum FR Edgar for grade A score. A sample team comp is Edgar, Mog and Deuce or Edgar Mog and Wakka. It is reported that there are instances that you can get the Spiritus mission clear even if you get a grade B score. So, you can try your luck on the fight. With this, I have come to the end of my boss guide presentation. Hopefully you find it useful. If you like the video, please give a like. Please subscribe to my channel for future gaming content. Good luck for the fight in the coming days. Bye.